And if they were ever required to do so, will that contradict the ihram requirements in Islam?
Yeah. No, it does not contradict, because you cover your face for a reason, which is to control the spreading of the disease, and that's the recommendation of doctors. And we say this even to the people who do Hajj in the regular years and season, because flu is a very common virus as well, and the flu collect the lives of millions of people, or hundreds of thousands of people every year. There's almost 100,000 people died from flu in America every year, just the regular flu, or a little bit less than 100,000. So this is a very serious thing too. So a lot of people put the mask for that if they are at risk, or they are sick themselves, so they not spread the disease. That's what would be excused. And there is a fatwa from the Grand Mufti in Saudi Arabia actually in regard to this. So inshallah, that's not a problem. And then this year, whoever going for Hajj is really lucky, because we're hearing that the numbers will be a very, very low numbers. Talk about like just
It'll be a walk in the park.
Few thousands, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you Hajj. And I want to share with you a story about Hajj.
Please do.
There's a brother from Egypt who lives in Medina. So some of the students of Medina were asking him about his story and stuff like that. He said he'd been doing Hajj for the last 20 years of his life. And he said, not a single year I did Hajj illegally, or like trying to sneak or to cheat or anything. And so many years, I will say, khalas, I'm not going to do Hajj, and I still go for Hajj. It end up going to Mecca. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it so easy. And they said, what's your secret? What's the reason? How do you manage that? He said, I think it is because the first year I came from Egypt, the only reason I went and accept job in Saudi Arabia, because I want to go for Hajj. And it was much easier and cheaper for me to do that from Saudi Arabia. So I accepted the job. I went to Medina, and I went, first year, I saved the money, I went for Hajj. He said in the bus, there was this lady coming into the bus, and she's big and old and very tired, miskina. So, and women sit in the end of the bus, and I was in the first row, and I felt bad for her to walk all the way back. So I stood up and I told her, Ya Hajja, Idrisi Makani, you sit in my place. And I went and I sat somewhere in the back. She was so happy with this small action. And she said, Yabni, روح ربنا ما يحرمك من الحج أبدا. She said, son, may Allah never prevent you from going to Hajj.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
Since that year, every year. Sometimes somebody said, yeah, Sheikh, I have my father died, he never made Hajj. Would you make Hajj on his behalf? I'll pay for everything and I'll get you the permits and the legal permits, everything. I said, I end up going for Hajj. Now in year, Sheikh, you know what, you're a student now, mashallah, you're good. In the masjid, I have a license for Hajj, you can go, and this is the money. Give a gift.
Subhanallah.
It's amazing. And he said, Wallahi, I owe it for that woman who's been doing this dua for me. So don't give up hope. Make dua, raise your hand, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do good deeds, and subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for your good deeds by giving you the opportunity to do more good deeds. And this story, there's a lot of lessons can be learned from it, but I hope that, put that hope and yaqeen in our heart, inshallah ta'ala, that we're all going to be Hajj. And I know that there is less than 1% of Muslims do Hajj, or doing Hajj. But inshallah ta'ala, with all this infrastructure that I see growing in Mecca, that I'm very happy to see that, because when I see that, I know that means that more people can do Hajj, more people can do Umrah than before. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us, Ya Rabbi.
Allahumma